Ping-Pong, what you doing? I'm your Otakutainment, theacstories for this Otakutainment reviews. I'm talking about a brand new manga series called Ping-Pong Peril, or just Ping-Pong in Japanese, by Yoshiharu Kataoka, who's really, as far as I could see, only known for a few one-shots, No One Knows, Zekai Distraction, and MM. The translation is by Den Luffy with lettering by Sneer Aharon. This is Chapter 1, Comeback. Came out on July 6, 2025 in Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus with the typical 55 pages. I got the summaries from both Manga Plus and Viz to go over. Slightly different. Honestly, they should have been one summary together. But starting with Manga Plus, millions in debt high schooler Tyra's only path to redemption is in the world of underground ping pong. Give me a flat table, a ball, and a racket, and I'll show you some ping pong. A shining table and a burning ball. Nobody will keep their sanity when this crazy ping pong battle begins. And I'm just going to go ahead and visit summary. Former prodigy Tyra plays ping pong again to get out of crippling debt, but against the degenerates of the underworld, all the rules are off the table. See, honestly, should have been put together. But going through them, I mean, millions debt, exactly 1 billion in debt, yen. Yeah, I don't know why this quote was included, because it's definitely never said. And it's definitely not even in the same tone as Tyra. But this, a shining table and a burning ball, is literally like the first match or obstacle in a match of ping pong in this chapter. I mean, okay. So it really doesn't even cover or go into a generalization of what Ping-Pong Peril is. And nobody will keep their sanity. I don't know. Literally, when it begins, they're still sane. I don't know. I'm going maybe too in literal for these summaries, but I feel like maybe the Viz summary is even more informative, even being shorter, which seems to be a trend. Yeah, crippling debt again, which I feel like something that should be mentioned is the fact that the stakes of saving Tara's sibling, that should be included in the summary. Because that's an even bigger part than the debt, if anything. But against the degenerates of the underworld, that's the more interesting part. Our rules are off the table. So yeah, they should have been together. So there's really not much to this first chapter. Honestly, in as almost literal sense you can think of a fun manga, this is probably going to be it. It's definitely the more interesting of the sports manga, but also it's the more like, okay, I see what you're doing. I don't expect too much from you. It's not typical. They're trying to just make it kind of outrageous with the sports instead of just more straightforward, trying to be best, like good old high school team kind of deal. So it's really, we meet the characters. There's one match. It's a really over dramatic first match. So we meet the main character, Taira Mikado, 16-year-old, second year high schooler, who quit ping pong about a year ago after dominating, I think, 3 years straight in middle school. And then, 4 months ago, mother died. Days later, father disappeared, and now left with a 1 billion yen debt, which a 29-year-old debt collector with a Kansai accent, literally what it says, don't even get the name, is trying to take Taira's twin, Momo, going to sell to cover the debt. Human trafficking, always bad, but then is saved by someone named Musuki Kaname in exchange for playing a game of ping pong. This deck collector's like, I don't know, who are you, blah blah blah. This is just like, get out here. Deck collector's like, okay, I'm just gonna go. Cool. They immediately go, like, this is so, everything happens so fast. It's meet, get saved from the debt collector. There's like a knife gun little almost fight, but then it just literally goes right into the next match. They go to the Imperial Glitz Hotel where they're going to play a 1 million yen match, 11 points, only one set. Who's the opponent? The debt collector. So it's such a quick turnaround. There's really like it's not even one that's like, oh, it's so exciting, it's like you don't even get a chance to breathe kind of. It's like, it feels so rushed. There is a rule book that is a scroll, but anything goes. So what's the rule book for? There's a shiny room and a metal fire starter ball and table set. Like, as the ball hits the table, it kind of sparks up. So yeah, that's the reference to the summary. And like, it's a pretty cool and simple gimmick, at least for this first match. So of course the debt collector takes the lead. I mean, Tyra's been out of it for years, still putting up a good show. And the debt collector understands the situation more. Supposedly just happened to be wearing the glasses, so all the shiny stuff doesn't create glares, and with the sparking stuff. But Tyra eventually makes a comeback, even with fire starting to come up, by just closing eyes and using sound to determine where the ball is. And I mean, that's like, oh, so much skill that you can use the sound, but not enough skill to just not need to close your eyes. Like, okay, sure. But as all this is going on, the debt collector sees like a monster, like starts seeing Tyra like a monster. And I don't get, okay, I get it. Like, the monster has a bunch of eyes on it, even though Tyra's eyes are closed, and maybe it's like, oh, you can close your eyes because you have this monster coming out of you that has a bunch of other eyes. But I was like, shouldn't it be a monster with ears or something more than anything? Because that's what Tyra's really using, is really tuned in ears. But I don't know. But yeah, Tyra eventually comes back, makes a win. But like, even though it is like that dramatic, oh no, most of the match really is just Tyra stressing over like, oh, anything goes. What does that actually mean? I gotta come to terms with that. And also like Tyra's own resolve. Like Misuki's whole thing with Tyra's like, oh yeah, you can be good, but it's Tyra's resolve. It's like, really, I don't know. What kind of resolve is it really? I mean, yeah. And it does kind of say at the end, Suki's like, oh, well, the resolve came from the fact that you have this huge debt and you gotta save your sibling. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that is a good resolve. But, I mean, that's about as much backstory or background for any characters we really get. Now, I will say the debt collector actually never really does anything like underhanded or sneaky. It's debt collector's playing a pretty clean game of ping pong. Yeah, there's like complaining like, oh, I can't believe this, blah, blah, blah. But debt collector's fine. Like, still good at ping pong too, I guess. And because this is the debt collector and the whole thing is about Tyra's debt, I'm sure the debt collector would be around more. And so now, they don't show how the money is split or given. I'm assuming the most sense would be Misuki gets the original million put down, and since it was Misuki's money to begin with, and Tyra will get the other million, or maybe Misuki will get both. I don't know. It doesn't show that part. But it does end with Tyra being hooked on making money. It's like, oh, that rush. And so now we're going to go get further into the underground world of Ping-Pong Peril. And now we're just left with the biggest question of, like, who is Misuki? Even though apparently Debt Collector didn't know who this was, just saying leave and then doing it was enough. I don't know, and seems to have some kind of tie. Somehow knew about Tyra's situation. I'm going to say either is the top running it or connected to someone on the top running it. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see. It's hard. Just by the nature of this manga, it's hard to see it going far. We already have like the end goal so set, 1 billion yen. Stakes are only going to get higher each time. So I don't see it being a long series, but I don't know, we'll see. Now I will say, kind of I won't say lackluster chapter, a very straightforward, very quick paced, and definitely not a good way. It just felt like, and here you go. This is it. This is what you're going to be seeing. Okay. Is that good? You like it? No, I don't know. But it's really going to rely on the art and just the over-exaggerated action. Because of the nature of how a table is set up, it does create great moments for double spreads. There's 2 in this one, and because that way you can see the whole table and the whole setup and the action from both sides all at once. Because it's not so big like a whole field, but it's not too small, so you actually get. I expect to see a lot of these double spreads, and it's usually like half-page double spreads because action is pretty like flat and squared off. It started off nice with the score being kept up for each side each time a point was scored. I wish that would have been more consistent because it goes through most of it and then stops at the end. It's like, oh, you don't even get that big last moment of like, here's the score, the winning score. It's like, it's gone. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. No, nothing. Oh, okay. Now, like always, the title, Ping Pong, that's boring. I don't know how they got away with that in the Japanese name, because there must be something called Ping Pong at this point. There's a game called Pong, but it's boring. But just adding peril does a whole lot, because really this is just ping pong, and they just add extra things for the peril, just like this is ping pong and the name is just adding peril for the series. And then with the chapter title is, you know, Tyra came back to ping pong, it's a comeback. But yeah, that's it for this series. Like, there's nothing really bad about it. There's nothing special about it. It's literally just like I don't want to say like a gimmick manga, but it's really one of those, like, you're just reading it to have fun, to see all the like interesting action, to see what the gimmick of each match is going to be. Like, this one was just a metal fire starter ball and table, and it's like, okay, that's simple, it's cool enough. Like, I thought it might get a little more tense, but hey, we're going to wait until a bit later. And also, just like this manifesting or seeming to the opponent seem like a monster out there, like nothing like out of nowhere. Like, it happens pretty much when you gotta see an opponent as something worse and bigger. But I mean, maybe that'll come into play too. Who knows? I don't know. I can see a lot of this going just like crazy for no reason. And we'll just have to see if that actually happens or not. But that is it for Ping-Pong Peril. If you want to talk more about it, go ahead and leave comments, find me on social media, email me, theacstories@gmail.com, or join my Discord, and we can talk about all kinds of stuff there. But I want to thank anyone who watched this, and thank especially my Patreon and Ko-fi members, Julio and Julio Vasquez. If you also want to help support me on there, you don't have to, but I appreciate either way. You get these shout-outs, you get my notes for these videos, you get my own stories. But that is going to be it for this Otakutainment reviews. I've been your Otakutainer, the AC Stories. Until next time, Ping Pong!